Horses are incredibly graceful and beautiful, and they have captured the hearts of many people. They frequently inspire wonder and adoration with their majestic presence. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Sadly too, it must be acknowledged that in some areas, human-made snares often claim the lives of these amazing animals. Once a man happened upon a horse that had fallen victim to one of these traps, and what happened next was an incredible act of thankfulness that he will never forget. The most common way that horses are restrained in Romania is by using leg ensnaring traps. This is done in an attempt to keep them from wandering off and being lost. These traps are made out of chains that securely attach the horse's legs to the ground and tight clamps that firmly hold its legs. The shackles are made quite strong, especially considering how strong and powerful horses are. Unfortunately, a horse has very little chance of escaping once it is caught in one of these traps. The animals suffer greatly from the traps, which frequently have long-term effects that limit their movement and even their fundamental ability to walk. This technique is used to keep an eye on these amazing animals and seems to be a common practice that is not controlled by the local government. But despite all of this upsetting situation, there remains a glimmer of optimism. One horse was blessed with serendipity when a kind spirit happened to cross its path. A man was soaking in the stunning scenery that Romania had to offer as he wandered through the gorgeous countryside during his holiday in the Balkan nation. Engrossed in the peace and splendor of the surroundings, he unintentionally changed into an angel of protection for a needy horse. The sound of horses charging in the distance caught the man's attention as he was walking across the field and excited him. He could not have imagined them being anywhere specific, but the idea of wild horses galloping throughout Romania's hills and meadows amazed him. While he was exploring, he noticed something strange out in the distance that was partially hidden by the long meadow grass. He approached the mysterious figure with caution, his feet filled with caution and interest as he got closer. Unsure of the possible threat in front of him, he took careful steps forward, but his eyes became wide with surprise as he closed the distance, and an uncontrollable cry came out of his mouth. He could not believe what was in front of him. A golden wild horse lay still on the earth. Its gorgeous dark chocolate coat was enhanced by a thick, shaggy black mane that curled down its neck and down its back. He was astounded by the creature's sheer grandeur. It was also far larger than the man had anticipated. But something wasn't quite right. The horse had a troubled expression in its eyes and was panting excessively. It thrashed its legs a bit when the man got closer. Suddenly, there was the unmistakable sound of clinking. When he had imagined watching the wild horses wander freely over the countryside, this was not the image that had come to mind. As a matter of fact, this was entirely at odds with his expectations. To put it mildly, it was a disturbing sight. A chain trap was wrapped around the horse's leg, as the guy could see when he peered down it. The poor horse appeared to be in great discomfort due to the extremely tight shackles that were preventing it from moving. Fortunately, the man realized he had to save the wounded horse at any means because he was a certified veterinarian and an enthusiastic lover of the outdoors and animals. With his trip knife out, the man began severing the shackles that bound the unfortunate horse's legs. The horse was so frail that it was obvious he had been there for days. Fortunately, the horse must have realized the guy was attempting to assist him, since it did not kick or squirm when he made a gentle attempt to cut the shackles or release them. The man remembered how to properly care for horses from his training as a veterinarian. Among the first ideas that sprang to me was the idea of giving horses a few paracetamol pills to aid with pain management. Horses would benefit from paracetamol in the same manner that it does for human aches and pains. The man reached into his pockets and took out 2 pills. He then put the tablets in an apple he had in his bag and fed it to the horse, which devoured it right away. The man wondered how humans could be so inconsiderate of poor horses as the horse went to consume the apple. It is incomprehensible to see one of these natural creatures thus crippled due to human activity. They deserve love and respect. The horse was lying imprisoned even though it had done nothing wrong. In fact, there was a good likelihood the horse would have perished there on the spot if the guy hadn't arrived when he did. He pondered the number of horses that had suffered a similar fate in Romania and other countries. looking at the pitiful animal in front of him. The man's heart was undoubtedly heavy with sadness. At any costs, he was going to save the animal. With the hope that the horse would soon experience the effects of the analgesics, the man returned to the task of removing the shackles, which looked uncomfortable. He pulled one of the shackles loose, satisfied that his job was doing well, as the powerful beast merely laid there and allowed him to work. However, he soon observed something that really startled him. You see, the chain on the other leg had grown into the flesh of the horse since it had been there for so long. That would have been excruciatingly unpleasant to walk in. Though he was concerned about the horse's reaction, the guy understood what had to be done. He set to work removing each link by one. The horse was vocalizing its discomfort and thrashing its body a little when it first showed indications of agitation. But eventually everything calmed down, enabling the guy to carefully and gently return to his duties. He laboriously unfastened the shackles from all of the horse's rear hooves for more than 30 minutes. The guy hoped the horse knew that he was only trying to help, even though it was still clearly in agony. The animal may have begun to feel some relief from the agonizing pain after paracetamol was administered. Then came the day when every trace of the shackles and snares was removed, and the horse was let free. Carefully cleaning the wounds with a few bottles of water, the guy gave them the greatest attention he could. The man's perceptive eye saw that, despite their frightening appearance, the wounds were not infected. He believed they would recover naturally, as horses are known to be resilient animals. The horse let out a sigh of relief as it felt relieved and at ease again, freed from the miserable shackles that had bound it. The man took a step back and watched in wonder as the magnificent horse slowly got to its feet. He watched the wounds carefully, comforting himself that they would not hurt permanently. Amazingly, the horse appeared to be in very little pain at this point, but what happened next brought tears to the man's eyes and rendered him dumbfounded. Despite its reputation for being unpredictable and sometimes violent, the horse bent over the veterinarian and gave him a gentle nuzzle to show appreciation for the help. With a kind chuckle, the guy caressed the horse's head. The horse abruptly retreated a few paces and raised up on its hind legs, letting out a victorious neigh that reverberated throughout the atmosphere. The wind caused its mane to dance and flutter before it dropped to the earth with a loud thud. The man was enthralled with the amazing sight and lost in emotion. The wild horse met his eyes and offered a little nod, as though to say thank you, one more in closing. The horse, with its magnificent majesty, turned aside and crossed the field with purpose. It went from walking to trotting to galloping as it sought the companionship of its herd. Deeply touched by the experience, the man turned to leave as he brushed away his tears. This incredible link would live on in his heart for eternity. He considered the significance of every step, knowing that this remarkable bond with the wild horse would be a memorable experience for the rest of his life. How do you feel about this tale? Tell us in the space provided for comments. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.